NoireMiami.com fans, Rochelle Oliver here, your editor with all Noire Miami content. I decided to leave the wonderful Magic City, the sand and the sun, and trade it in for the city lights of New York. And I'm here with Wendy Williams. And thank you so much for having us here with you today.
Thank you, Rochelle. How you doing?
How you doing? I so wanted to do that. So you know what? I thought I left Miami and it was going to be a completely different place, and I was on your show.
Yeah.
In your audience today. I felt like I was in South Beach.
The people are sexy in the audience, right?
The sexy, the bright colors, and the music, and that hype man, Marco. Yeah. Amazing.
You always need a good hype man to get the crowd warmed up. And then our show is live out of New York at 10 a.m. I know that now, we're on in Miami at 10 a.m., which is great because while it's a syndicated show, so from city to city, it comes on different times depending on where you are. The feel of the show at 10 a.m. when you're here in New York or watching in Miami is just, it's electric. I never get tired of doing it. And the studio audience is as important as any other component of the show.
And one thing is that some people might not know, but you are you live in Miami. You have a house in Miami, right?
No, yes. Well, my parents are retired and they live in Miami. My sister, my older sister, and my brother-in-law, and their 2 children, they moved to Miami about 15 years ago. So we're the only ones left here in the tri-state area, me and my husband, he's from New York, and my younger brother. So yes, I do have the familia Miami connection.
I also know that you're a lady who loves her wigs and loves the lipstick. And so how do you work that? The hair, the pool, the beach, the sand. How does Wendy work in Florida?
Well, usually at a hotel. It's been a few years since I've stayed at my parents' house and sat around the pool, only because you don't really get any privacy at my parents' condo. But I put on my wig. I like a nice blonde beachy wig, like white hot blonde, around the pool, long, like 20 inches, and sunglasses. And I like to be left alone. So, for instance, I've never touched the sand in Miami. I've never to go on to the beach to lay and luxuriate. I mean, I've been on the beach, but to walk with full clothes on, I don't like to be on blast like that. I like to stay at a hotel. As much as I love the Fontainebleau, the buffet, the pool area is a little busy for me. So I stay very quiet, very on the down low in Miami, and it's very glamorous around that pool.
For Ask Wendy, what can we expect from your book? It comes out in May, as I understand.
Okay, the Ask Wendy book is basically exactly what you hear on TV. For people familiar with my radio past, I was on radio for over 2 decades. I did Ask Wendy on my radio show. The challenge for me doing a talk show is that the show is only 1 hour. So when I do Ask Wendy, I might only have 2 minutes to help you or give you an answer to your problems. And 2 minutes sometimes is not long enough. And we cut to the commercial break, and then I get left with some other stuff I wanted to say. So the book, which this is the galley. So this is not the book, but this is what it's going to look like. The book is the long form of my Ask Wendy questions. So, and the book is basically letters from Wendy watchers, and it's broken down chapter by chapter. For instance, the girlfriend chapter. Dear Wendy, my girlfriend, I loaned my girlfriend $500 2 years ago, and she hasn't paid me back. Since that time, she's gotten a new car, and she's about to take a trip to Miami, and she's mad at me because I can't go because I don't have the money. How do I tell her that I would have the money if she'd give me my $500 back? Well, in this book, I can give you answers like this. Because on the show, when I'm doing my actual show, I have 7 minutes and I have to say it quickly and then move along.
Now, throughout your career, you've always had the Ask Wendy or the topics, the advice from Wendy. Why is it so important for you to consistently keep that part in all the formats that you've worked on?
Ask Wendy is a natural fit for me because it's what I've always done. And I do feel as though it's important to share information. And when I was 22, I might have been more selfish and guarded. When I was 28, maybe, the sisterhood was more threatening, because we all go through this as women. Please don't deny it. It isn't until you get a little bit older, if you're fortunate, that you really come into your own with your own warts, and also you don't mind sharing tips with other people.
Sometimes you give the chair to some people that wouldn't have had a chair otherwise.
Right.
Today you had S. Murkison on the show, and you bring in people like Raven Simone, who might not be, they're not always in the news 24/7, and I feel like you're constantly sharing your couch with other Black women, young, of any age.
Yeah.
Is that intentional?
That is also very important. My talk show is a show that happens to be hosted by a Black woman, but with that in mind, I do take my Black very serious, only because there's many of us who don't. You know, we don't like our Black, or we're looking to escape our Black, or whatever. Not me. I love my Black, and I take it very seriously that this is the kind of show where, yes, Alicia Keys comes on, but Alicia Keys goes on, Kelly and Michael and everybody else. Estapatha might not necessarily, be on The View. I don't know. Raven Simone, maybe, possibly, I'm not sure. Snoop Dogg, 2 Chainz. When do you see 2 Chainz during daytime TV? So, yes, that is very important. It's also very important that my parents, when they're in town, I like to bring them on the show because for many of us, our portrayal to other races is that we are raised by wolves and not by a mom and a dad, and so it's important for me to, and I don't go out of my way to represent anything, I am not a role model, okay? I've got my warts and my demons, so, but when I can, without going out of my way, and making myself feel uncomfortable, yeah, it's important for me to show my Black in a positive light. And I'm very, very proud to be Black. But most importantly, I am proud that the audience of the Wendy Williams Show is the crossroads to the world. Who was in the audience today? Asian, Black, old, okay, like 70-year-olds and 22-year-olds. But I've always been this way. All my life, I've always been the crossroads to the world.
Okay, well, thank you so very much for joining us, and I hope that you see us on come down to Miami and check us out.
I will.
With your new book.
I will.
And the wig line.
Thank you, Rochelle. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Bye.